Go ahead.
Grab your headphones, listen up, you know you love it. Drop the facade. Like the Dark Knight Detective, they've got some perspective. They're a pure crime-fighting collective. It's the Bat Pod.
Welcome to this episode of Gotham Currents. My name is Bill Beer, and joining me as always, John Coos.
You can call me Super Dad. That's me.
Super Dad. I think that's another podcast.
Uh-oh. Well, I must have bought some of their merch on accident then.
Okay. So tonight...
How's it going, Bill?
It's going good. It's going good. It's been, what? Has it been 2 weeks? It's been 2 weeks.
No, it hasn't.
Hasn't
Isn't that
it?
long? I thought we did it last weekend.
It could have been. My memory's kind of short.
Anyway.
You know how
Yeah,
it
well,
goes.
I do.
So,
all right. Sorry.
Tonight, we're going to be discussing Detective Comics 1093 and Catwoman number 72.
The Bat Pod is a spoiler podcast. Please read the comics we're reviewing so you can enjoy the show.
You want me to speak now? Is that the deal?
Yeah, you're Detective Comics.
Yeah. Well, we're only doing 2 books today because we're caught up. We are truly caught up until the next release of the Ultra. So we've got only 2 today. Sorry about that for those of you like long form podcasts, but we're covering part 4 of Tom Taylor's run of Detective. It's Mercy of the Father story arc, written by Tom Taylor, artist Mikkel Javin, letterer Wes Abbott, and editor Ben Mears. Before we get into the book, we got a cover here. Pretty exciting, pretty inflammatory of sorts. What do you think, Bill?
It's kind of interesting here. It's very... It's fiery cover, you know, they're fighting in the fire, and the Detective Comic logo kindly blends in there a little bit.
Yeah.
This is
It's
an okay
fine.
cover.
Yeah, Batman fighting Asima.
Asima.
Our issue opens shortly after the crime alley murders of Thomas and Martha Wayne. A mother and her young daughter are visiting the gates of Wayne Manor, where many flowers have been laid by Gothamites out of respect for the fallen. Bruce approaches the front gate and engages with a daughter and a mother, and we find out the daughter is Scarlet Martha Scott, who we were exposed to in previous issues as both a baby and the CEO of a health corporation, who created the youth serum that Bruce has been taking. The mother tells Bruce that his mother, Martha, saved her years ago and begins to apologize. She begins sobbing because we know, dear readers, that her husband, ex-husband, is one Joe Chill. So, Alfred Pennyworth shows up, very frantic. He actually runs to the gate and tells them to leave at once. We move to the present, where members of the Bat family, Red Hood, Spoiler, Tim Drake Robin, Barbara Gordon, Damian Wayne Robin, and Bill's favorite member, Duke Thomas, the Signal, are all providing protection for boys that recently were inhabitants of the Faultless Juvenile Detention Center, where all the victims of Asima, our mysterious villain who likes to drain teenagers of their blood, are all linked. Our scene moves to a Gotham tenement where a teenager, presumably also from the Faultless Center, wants to see his mom, but is blocked by a brute of a man at the door. The brute hits the boy, but Batman intervenes. We move to an undisclosed location. It says that right on the top of the panel. It's an undisclosed location, in case you didn't know. Um, that looks kind of like an industrial property, sort of like a warehousing, something like that. Anyway, the Bat family are all there with the boys from Faultless. The Bat fam has a great idea. Use the boys as bait. Equip them with surveillance equipment so if they're attacked, the Bat family can come to the rescue. We'll talk about that in a bit. Next scene, Bruce calls Scarlet, our lovely purple-haired CEO, asking for another date because he had a pretty nice night that first time. She says she's busy. She she took the call in the presence of the doctor who administers the youth serum. Scarlet seems scared and distracted. Um, Batman is now another scene. Batman is patrolling and he confronts one of the many mercenaries who have been showing up in Gotham lately and he subdues him. Batman grills him on why they are in town and the guy gives up that the Penguin has a hit on whoever has been recently killing kids. Batman shows up at the Iceberg Lounge to confront Penguin. Penguin protests that it wasn't a hit he put out, but a bounty, as he wants the serial killer alive. But someone else removed the bounty, and Penguin doesn't know who, which concerns him and Batman. And suddenly Oracle contacts Batman on his bat earpiece and tells him a kid is under attack only 2 blocks away. We find Asima on the hood of a moving car with a former Faultless detainee, Spencer, driving. Batman shows up and things get intense. A melee ensues. Spencer gets his throat slashed and Batman gets a needle in his cheek. Batman is fading. Asima tells him he'll wake up and she walks off. Our final scene is of a woman walking into the HQ of Theromy's Health, the creators of the youth serum, where Scarlet is the CEO. The woman puts Asima's syringe-equipped glove into a bag, puts Batman's blood from his cheek into a vial, tests it, and voila! The computer spits out an existing patient, Bruce Wayne. All right, after a choppy mouthful of marbles start on that, I think I nailed that. What'd you think of the issue, Bill? Has this story led up to you? Are you still excited about it?
Oh, definitely. I love the art in here. It still feels. I'm still enjoying this a lot, and I have to start with that opening scene. Young Bruce is
Yeah.
approached by Scarlet Martha Scott and her mother, you know, and you see Alfred being the protective father here. I really like this scene. It didn't until I saw this. I wasn't 100% sure that Scarlet was Asima, but this opening scene, it confirmed it because I went back and looked at the opening issue of this arc. When they knew who Bruce Wayne was, and it kindly feels like that first scene in that book that Joe Chill is that character. I don't know if you remember that because it's been several issues, but it feels like, because Asima says in that particular opening that she did this for Bruce. I did this for you. I'm going to, we can kill him together. Is what it was. That opening scene there, and it feels like that's what's going on. I could be wrong, but that's what it feels like.
You make a good point. I mean, I have to go back and read that earlier. So I did this for you. Are you sure she said Bruce? Did you go I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking it could be this other doctor that made Scarlet nervous, but I see your point. I like this scene. I mean, do you think Alfred is so protective just because it's only been a few days and he just has a natural instinct to be protective of Bruce. I mean, it's just a mother and a daughter at the gate. I don't know. I'm not, maybe I don't need to read into it, but
No, no.
I thought he reacted pretty
Yeah,
severely.
he reacted appropriately. You know, using his protection skills or whatever.
I
you
should
wanna
go
call
back
it.
and I should go back and look at that first issue and see if
Well,
they named
here's-
this woman.
Here's you know, he's talking to Asima here at the beginning, and she says the only reason he's still breathing is so you could be here for this. I did all of this for you, every life I've taken for you, and he deserves it more than any of them. Surely, of you of all people can see. Says fighting for this monster isn't noble; it's madness. He's not worthy of your mercy. Don't make the same mistake as your father, Bruce.
Oh, Bruce. She said Bruce. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, that.
I'm pretty sure that she has Joe Chill, but you know, I'm not.
Well, okay. I see your point. I had forgotten she said Bruce. Okay. Well, hey. So I was just wondering. I don't know if that first issue had the. We know the daughter's name is Scarlet. Could we assume that their last name's Chill?
I would
or
guess.
or is that just his street name?
I don't know. Maybe they changed their name at a certain point. Yeah.
Yeah.
After the Waynes were killed. I don't know.
She took her maiden name. She was originally Sally Scott or whatever. And
Yeah.
became Sally Chill, and then anyway she came back to us. But yeah, I liked I'm a sucker for all this Bat Family panels. Is great. They're watching the kids. Some are playing basketball. Some are, I don't know, maybe with other friends. Some are actually not, probably up to no good. And then the scene with the kid trying to go back to his mom, and then that jerk. I liked all that stuff. But the one thing I thought was funny was this idea that they would like put trackers on them all, and like they would get notified. They would create like patrols. That's what they said, like
Within
Oracle or
3
whatever
miles.
say 3 mile radius.
Yes.
Radius. So so if anybody knows some basic geometry, a radius is just from the center of the circle to the edge, not the diameter. So 3 miles. That seems really far
Yeah, it does.
to me. I mean,
It's not
they're
like they're
Batman
Superman or one of the super family and they can just fly super
or a
speed.
speedster,
Right.
or something. So I guess that one kid was lucky. He was only 2 blocks away from Batman, but that didn't even seem to help because he still got knocked out or slashed in the throat. But I thought that was like 3 miles, 3 miles,
Yeah,
and
that seemed kinda far.
especially in a dense city, like 3 miles. I don't know. Anyway, but other than that, I mean, I thought that was a little bit of a whatever. But other than that, well, before we get to some of the reveal at the end, did we talk about it last time? That did Red Hood did he dye his hair recently?
I don't know. It's white in here. And what was the
What,
was it the what issue was it? No, it was the Batman and Robin issue, the last issue at the end. He appears.
Yeah, he did.
But I don't recall him having white hair. Do you?
No,
Do you
but
recall?
we could probably look it up, but I don't want to take time doing that. But
Yeah. But that threw me off. That did. I'm like, did you see Red Hood? And you were asking me about Red Hood too after you read it. So
you know what? I'll look it up while you're doing your summary to Catwoman in a little bit. So that last page, I thought we commented on his blonde hair then. That Red Hood book that was out like 6 months ago, that was in continuity, right?
yes,
It was kind of a chaotic book. And I have no memory of what actually happened in it. Maybe did his hair come
Yeah, I
to one?
didn't
Anyway,
actually read
not
it.
important, but
Shame on me.
and this look he's got. This is different too, isn't it? This like
The
what is he wearing? This
He's
mask
wearing
and
like this
a
little,
hood.
almost like a hockey face without the
Hmm.
top half. You know,
Yeah.
sort of like Casey Jones from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, except he doesn't have the top half. And then he has some kind of visor. Now, he had this look before. I don't know if he was using the hood up. This is not my favorite look for him. I always liked, him being in the helmet, the full helmet.
Yeah. I
And
like
he
that
takes off the
red
helmet
hood.
and he still has the mask, the domino mask underneath.
Oh, the OG Red Hood. Yeah, the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, from back. Yeah, no,
Yeah, I like that look, but
I do too.
he has the
Actually,
bat symbol on his chest, and
yeah, I like that one. I like that too. Actually, I'm not a real big fan of
this
this,
was,
but
if you've been reading Green Arrow, he has a similar look. He has like his bottom of his face covered, which I don't love that either.
yeah, I'm not digging
Yeah.
the new Red
Yeah.
Hood look. But I also, I mean, I'm not trying to stretch things out. I'm not a big fan of the the Batgirl costume where she that came out during New 52 when they kind of made her God, who wrote that series? The one that she kind of get her costume. There was a lot of cell phone use and memes, and she
Oh,
seemed
yeah, that was
younger,
the
and she was
Burnside
the
Batgirl.
Burnside. Yeah,
Yeah.
this costume doesn't. Is that what she's wearing here? It kind of looks like a hybrid almost. But anyway, now we're getting off track here. But I
Did you
want you to
notice
tell me.
even Stephanie Brown has a face mask
I
instead of a
noticed
mask?
that.
Yeah,
Uh,
it just covers her nose and her mouth and not her face. Interesting.
Maybe they're COVID sensitive or something. I don't know, but
Could be.
I don't know. So okay, so Batman asks what's her name out on a date. He even follows up and says like, "Well, what about lunch tomorrow?"
Yeah, he must have a good time there.
but he
Selena hasn't been around lately, and he must have enjoyed himself.
well, she's apparently off in Berlin, but no, yeah, and this whole thing about the mercenaries, this Penguin relationship with Batman, I think is kind of cool. Like they kind of have this détente right now, and you could tell me, is this from a few story arcs ago where they kind of have made peace with each other for now, or is this a recurring thing?
Well, see, Penguin's been gone. He was,
He had
declared
yeah.
dead for a little bit, so he only just showed up, a few issues, when this Tom Taylor run started. This is what we've gotten from the Penguin. He had his 12-issue Max series by Tom King that was really good, and he's first appeared here, so it's been a while since he appeared, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure to answer you. I'm not 100% sure, but I like it. I like the interaction that they have here. Penguin
do
might
too.
not like it too much, but
Well, who knows?
but he's first. He's the first one that tells Batman who the name is. Because he mentions
That's-
her by name.
That's right.
Asima.
Yeah, he does.
So
Well-
the question.
Go on.
Well, the question that I have here, we get the next scene where Batman, is 3 miles is apparently too far to save these kids because Asima shows up, takes him out of the car, destroys the car, and Batman is there, of course. And they have this little fight, and the kid may have been killed because she slashes at his throat and she injects him with something. Does he know who she is now? Did you get that feeling? Because the last two word boxes here, he says there's a scent, white musk. And I went back the last few issues to try to see if he noticed, when Bruce was with Scarlet, to see if he noticed a particular scent, and I didn't notice where he did.
No, I did. No, there was. It was in the
Okay.
first. It was in the first issue. But what I was looking for was what I found was that he smelled it in regard to Asima. I was trying to find if he smelled it when he
Yeah.
was hanging out at Scarlet's place.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I didn't notice that at all.
but one thing that just bothers me a little bit about this fight they have
Mm-hmm.
is now Batman is now feeling younger and he's got his faster reflexes. We learned that because Damian was testing him. Where does this woman trained? I mean, he basically kind of gets defeated by her in a way, right? Like
Yeah.
he allows the kid's face to get slashed. I mean,
Well, yeah, he's
this is,
trying to
he
save the
doesn't seem
kid, and
very effective.
well,
He kicks
he
her.
kicks her. She
And
takes him out in one move because she basically sticks him with that needle when after he kicks her, but he's worried
Well, no,
about
what
the
happens
kid
is-
because she said he cut an artery, have to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, and then she goes around
Uh-huh.
and jumps on his back and then sticks him in the face. But anyway, I was like, really? She must be a well-trained fighter. I mean, I don't know.
When they were
But she-
on their date, she jumped in right away to kick
Oh, that's true.
those thugs. So
I almost feel like it's too obvious that it's Scarlet. I don't know why. I mean,
it
I-
is. It's very
but-
obvious, and I think he's wanted you to think the whole time that that's who it is, just because the hair and.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It
Yeah,
seems
we'll
it
have
would
to
make
find
sense that it's her, just based on her history and her background.
Yeah. So I guess we'll have to find out. But all right. Well, another good story. We always talk in terms of moving the story along. I don't think it was it was like like an issue that was dragging things along. I think it had some cool stuff. I think that things have turned in a positive way with the Bat family engaged in protecting these faultless kids. I mean, obviously, we don't know if this guy dies. I'm guessing he might have, because if Bruce was sedated and the guy was bleeding out. So he probably did. So I guess they didn't succeed in their little plan to surveil these children.
Right.
Which
Maybe
is
3
kind
miles
of-
was a little bit too far.
The next issue, they're going to say, we got to shorten that.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
one block.
Right. Right.
Because 2 blocks apparently was too much. But no, it was all right. It was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. The artwork is fantastic. There's that
It is.
scene with the stepfather. He's humongous compared to Batman, and Bruce took him out there pretty quick. And I just like the look between the two. The art was just amazing, especially in those panels.
Oh, I agree with you totally. So, all right. Well, let's move on to Catwoman, which actually picked up a bit. I don't want to spoil it, though, so go.
Yeah, Catwoman number 72. It's Rules of the Land Part 2. We get a cover here, and it's sort of a Fire and Brimstone cover, since it says right on there, Fire and Brimstone. It's Catwoman with her whips, and it looks like demons or something reaching for her. What did you think of this cover?
It's fine. I don't know the context of the demons.
Yeah, I
Maybe it's just,
don't know where that's
maybe it's just
coming.
allegorical or something.
I
but-
mean, there's a fire in there, but in
Yeah.
the issue, but
yeah, that's all right.
yeah. So, your writer is Torin Grunbeck, Ariana Gazzanini, and I know I'm butchering some of these names. Colors, Patricio Del Feiche. Letter, Steve Wands. Their cover is by Seba Maria Mira. Why did you give me this book? So I had to pronounce all these names. Assistant editor, James Reed. Editor, Ariana Turturro. And your group editor is Rob Levin. And her issue begins in Budapest years ago. Selena, going by Evie, looks at a safe where her crime boss, Theodore Belov, keeps his secrets. It actually keeps her secrets in there. In the present, Selena is held by the youngest of the family, Adam, now all grown up and holding a knife to her throat at a party. While he takes her to the wine cellar, she attacks and knocks him out. Heading back upstairs, Selena breaks into the safe. Yes, it's the same safe we saw in the flashback previously. She steals the egg and other items, but is unable to find the key. The oldest brother, Ivan, arrives. Selena holds him off, threatening to start a fire with her lantern, then starts a fire, grabs the copy of the Brothers Karamazov.
Kazamarov.
Yeah, exactly. What I said. She remembers from the past, then fights her way through Ivan and his brother Anton in the flames. Opening the book, she finds the key, then runs, choosing a new disguise, but leaves a message for Ivan and Anton: sow the wind, reap the whirlwind. So, you mentioned it very briefly that it feels like this has picked up. I feel the same way. I thought I didn't really know what was going on. This issue kind of fills in the blank because the previous issue, we even see the egg at the beginning flashback, and we see her steal the egg here. And we see the safe that has 2 keys that has secrets in it. I'm curious where this because she has 1 key. Where is she going to find this other key?
Yeah. Did she just steal the egg for good measure because it's probably valuable
I would
or
guess.
something?
I don't know what. It's like a priceless artifact or what that is exactly. I mean, the only egg I ever known of is from the James Bond movie where there's an egg that's stolen
Well, I mean,
from years ago.
it might not be a big part of the story, but
Yeah.
this Brothers Kazamarov thing is a Russian piece of literature, and then the Fabergé eggs, which are priceless, are also Russian. So I don't know if there's a connection there or not, but um, so I think we have a couple mystery solved or questions we had from before. Is like, did she? Well, maybe not. They've got something on her in these safes, like
All
in
right,
this.
and she
That's
wants
what.
to know what's in the safe so she can figure out who found that information, who got to that information is basically, trying to kill her.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and it was a pretty quick read actually. It was like a lot of panels
Yeah.
of just. So I mean, I haven't had a ton of time to analyze it, but I did like it because it was feeling a little slow, and now we've got her. I guess she's on the run now because she's
Yeah, it
got
looks
this
like
egg
she's
and
on the
this
run. She's
key.
got her key. Now, where this safe is, you
Yeah.
know, compared to where she is now, but we get a little relationship with her and this family, and they even state she's not in the mob family, but this felt like her family. Just because I
Yeah.
guess she were around these people, and this seems like it's pre Catwoman. It doesn't feel like this is post Catwoman for whatever reason.
You mean the Evie thing? The
Yeah,
Evie
the ED
persona?
thing, right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah. But who knows? I'm I don't know. We'll have to find out, I guess. You know, when you read Catwoman, I know you weren't reading this book before this, but
Mm-hmm.
I read some previous runs that went really long. Every so often, she was included in an arc. If there was a crossover, like if her book,
Yep.
like in No Man's Land and things
Right.
like that. But it's weird sometimes to read like a bunch of issues in a row for me without Batman. But I don't know. What about you? Is it or I
It
don't know.
feels a
Maybe you
little
don't.
weird for her to be out of Gotham, but I think,
Yeah.
was this our fourth issue or third? I think it's our fourth issue. It feels like this story is just getting started because we weren't getting a lot of information. It felt like, she was on the run, and had to make quick decisions and this sort of thing, and we didn't know who was chasing her. We still don't really know, but I find this issue kind of picked it up a great deal for me personally.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So that's all we got today. I don't know. It's sometimes is a bummer that we can't like announce what's like coming out on the next round of Ultra because I mean I don't know why they wouldn't say coming soon to get people excited or whatever.
Yeah,
But
last week was a bummer. Last week was
oh yeah,
terrible.
I mean for the whole DC, the whole thing, it was like 6 issues or less, and some of them are just like
Yeah,
stuff
well,
we're not
they
reading.
re-released the Absolute Batman 1, Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Superman number 1s and said
Why they
free
do
on it.
that?
But if you're getting Ultra, you've already read those issues.
Yeah, that's why I guess.
And
I
there was
guess.
a Lex Luthor issue and a Green Lantern issue, and there was a DC Power, and that was it. So
Yeah, the green. Yeah.
I believe our next episode, guessing just by how things, are a month out, I think the JSA is going to be out this week, so our next episode can be our DC Currents episode.
Oh yeah, and because
With
Titans already came out,
Titans, yep, Titans and
Justice League
League.
Unlimited.
Yeah.
So, not to jip our listeners in content, didn't you go to a show recently and meet? Wasn't there somebody famous signing there?
Oh, Jason Aaron.
What was that? Like, you and I didn't even talk about that real. Like, I mean, I saw
No,
you in line and stuff. What was that like?
that's pretty cool. There's this comic shop. It's about an hour from me, and they do signings. I would say every few weeks. I got to meet Scott Snyder. This was Jason Aaron. He's a cool dude, very calm, collected.
What does he write?
He's wrote Thor. Not a ton of DC stuff. He's currently writing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he had some new book called Bug Wars. It was an Image book. But he's done a lot of Marvel, a lot of Thor.
Oh, cool.
But very
Did he
nice.
did was there a long line for him and stuff?
I got there about an hour earlier than I did for Scott Snyder's signing, and we got through about an hour earlier. So, I mean, it was
When
still
you
a good.
when you saw Snyder, was it like 100 people in line or something?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Well,
I
they
could.
have this MVP line, so if you pay like an extra $50 or $100 a year or whatever it is, you get to go first and you get in that line. So there was probably a good 25 people in that line.
I should be more on the lookout and stuff for these kinds of things.
But yeah, that's about an and that comic shop is humongous. It's the biggest one I've ever been into. Not that I've been in a ton, but locally, it's in Annapolis, Maryland, and it's the biggest one I've ever been into.
Like a warehouse or something?
Yeah, it's almost like their graphic novel section is almost like a library, and they have a wall full of new releases, and then the one wall is the size of it's of a warehouse in there, and you go there, and the wall is just back issues of stuff within the last 3, 4, 5 months, maybe the whole wall. So if you miss something, it's pretty easy to find something. So I had my wife with me, so if I needed a break in line or wanted to go look for something, she would take my place.
Oh. And then you say, I'll be back in a couple of minutes, and you're like gone for like a half an hour.
Yeah, something like
You,
that.
you got into a 50-cent bin or something.
Right.
You started downloading your list on your Google
Yeah,
Drive.
not a
and
ton. Surprisingly, not a ton of older back issues, except ones they had on the wall that was way overpriced.
Yeah. One thing that drives me crazy about shops sometimes, well, because I've owned my own business and I understand business enough to be dangerous, and sometimes I wonder, like, there's this place over here in this town called Norwalk over here. They have some great back issues, and I it's about 30 minutes away, so I don't go there very often. But sometimes if I'm driving from LA to back to Orange County, I'll stop in and just take a look, and I go and I also look through the stuff. It's like the same stuff, and it's because their back issues. We're talking like stuff from like All Star Squadron, older
Yeah.
good stuff, and like why the hell are they selling this book for like $9? If you just any average person could look it up, and it's not graded. It's just in a bin, and I'm like, they're never gonna move this stuff. Who's the one guy who's going to this shop that's looking for number 17? And then I don't know. I just don't understand shops that have a lot of good stuff that they never it never moves though. And it's because they're priced too high. I don't know. If I owned a shop and I bought some of these 20 long boxes, I'd want to move it. Have you ever noticed that some
You
shops they just sit on high prices?
right. You
I don't.
there's this one shop locally to me. As soon as it's released, as soon as the book is released, meaning the week after, it goes up 75 cents. It goes up automatically 75 cents, which I had a talk with the owner at one point why he does that, and they're out of business now, but that doesn't surprise me. It's just everything was marked up. So if you miss something the week before, it don't matter. It's marked up. I guess if it's in your box, that's one thing. But if you wanted to check something out for the first time, I did
Yeah.
notice at this big shop that like the Legends of the Dark Knight, the first issue was marked up to like 35, $40. And I'm just like, I've seen that issue like in bins for $1.
I have it in my garage.
Right.
As I told you before we started, I'm being forced to pare down my 21 long boxes to like 6, and I'm going through everything. And I have. Are you talking about the run that came out in like 88, 89?
Yes.
That one?
Yep. Yep.
That. Yeah. I was like, okay. I went through my. I have my list on like Google Sheets, and so I can access it from any device. And I go, wait a minute, did I forget to look this one up because I didn't say keep, and then I looked it up and it was like 8.5 is $3, and I'm like, okay, this is going, but that's crazy, $30. Oh, that's funny, and I actually called out a shop once and actually really liked the gal. I'm not going to name the shop because she's really cool, but there was a box that she had of sort of key comics. They weren't graded. They weren't in the plastic CDG or whatever they're called. It was like the first appearance of Firestorm 24, I think, his first appearance of like Blue Devil. And she was like selling it for like $50, and it was just in a regular, a bag and a board. And I was looking at it, it's probably, I mean, I'm not a grader. It's probably like an 8 or something. And I'm like, I go, you know what? Some of these prices are a bit out of control. I go, you could, like, I showed her, like this is like this is like a $12 book at best. And she's like, it's got the first appearance of Blue Devil though. And I'm like,
I know they have a lot of these
yeah.
shows that are in hotels. where they have like
Like-
20 tables or whatever, and they charge you like $10 to get in, and they have some, just new 52 issues from Batman, I noticed, and some of them were like $125, and it's like, really?
Were they graded? Like in
No,
the
they weren't
plastic?
graded. None of this stuff is graded, so.
Were they variants? Like
No. I kind of rolled
Oh,
my
that's
eyes.
good.
They might have been like $30 or whatever, but to be like up over $125, it's a little, I don't know, kind of crazy.
People are stupid. So anyway, all right, man. Well, I think we've provided enough additional content for those that always scream for more airtime. But yeah, I think we're going to come up on a couple of really packed shows. We might have some episodes coming up, probably with 5 issues on the Gotham Current side, because I have a feeling there's some stuff that's going to drop all at the same time.
Yeah, we're gonna have Batman and Robin year 1. We got Batman and Robin coming up. I don't know how many issues going to be released, but the next 2 weeks we should have enough for a very full show for Gotham Current. So next week will be DC Currents with our Titans, JSA, and Justice League Unlimited books, and then we'll follow that up with Gotham.
Does this solicit? Is this the latest one? Because like I haven't looked through it yet. Is there going to be like a is it like Absolute Justice League coming out anytime soon?
I don't know of Absolute Justice League. It's Absolute Flash, Absolutely Green Lantern, and Absolute Martian Manhunter. Well, they listed Martian Manhunter as a 6-issue mini. But here in the next, I believe March to April, Green Lantern and the Flash. And that's going to be Wally West Flash that's in that Absolute Flash.
Looks like we're going to get another Superman book. Superman Unlimited.
Yeah, with the movie coming out this summer, they're releasing a bunch
you
of
see
stuff.
Absolute Martian Manhunter?
Yes.
Did you already
Martian
say that?
Manhunter. Yep.
Wow. This Absolute thing's pretty cool. When I first heard about it, I was like, "Oh, come on!" But I'm digging it.
And the newest Absolute Wonder Woman is pretty cool. Is that 5? I'm not sure.
The one
if
that's
it's
on
4 or
Ultra?
5.
Or the one-
No, it's not
Are you
on
buying
Ultra
them?
yet. But it's the one that I got the floppy of. It's pretty cool, especially the sword in there. You see some new things with the sword. So
Oh, with the sword.
yeah.
It's a great. I wish if we had more time, we would just cover everything.
Yeah.
I suppose, but except for this, which is being canceled apparently.
Yes. I thought
Power
you'd be
Girl.
sad, I messaged you to tell you that it was canceled, and you were the opposite of sad.
Well, I was happy that this run is going to be finally be put to death. It's been an awful, torturous journey. But to cancel the book is something that kind of sunk in later. Like they're not just, getting rid of this run by this person. They're actually just canceling the book, which kind of bums me out a little bit. But anyway, whatever.
I can understand
All
that.
right, man. Yeah.
So I guess we'll head out of here. We thank you for staying current with Gotham Currents, and we will see you later.